I swear the moment it happened felt like a glass shattering inside my chest. 1 second I was lifting my water, trying to blend into the noise of the dining room, and the next my father's voice sliced through everything. "We don't need your help. Or you." He said it so casually, like someone commenting on the weather. And the worst part wasn't the words. It was the way the room absorbed them, like nothing extraordinary had been spoken. My brother Leon smirked. My mother didn't even pause her carving. My aunt laughed at a joke across the table, unaware she was sitting inside the moment my family finally told me who I was to them. Disposable my cheeks burned, but I held the same careful smile I'd worn my entire life. A polite mask. A shield. They assumed I'd do what I always did. Drop my eyes, swallow the hurt, pretend it was nothing. But something inside me shifted. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was a quiet, heavy click, like a lock finally sliding into place. I realized this wasn't my family. Not really. And maybe it never had been. Growing up in that house taught me a specific kind of silence. Not peaceful silence, obedient silence. Silence that meant I belonged only if I served. I was the one who filled the gaps, smoothed the edges, fixed their messes before anyone noticed. When Leon forgot an exam paper, I biked it to his school before the bell. When my mother needed someone to stay with my sick grandmother, I canceled a birthday party I'd been excited about for weeks. When my father's hours got cut, I took a second job at 18, quietly paying their bills under the lie of helping out. And when adulthood hit my siblings like a hammer, their overdue notices somehow always found their way to my hands. They didn't ask. They expected. Outsiders thought we were close, laughed at our matching sweaters and family photos, praised the loud warmth of holiday dinners, adored my mother's famous pumpkin pie. That was the version of us you could frame. The pretty my grandmother was the only one who ever saw me as a person, not a resource. Her tiny kitchen smelled like chamomile and worn pages. She used to place her hand over mine and whisper, "Carrie, sweetheart, you don't owe the world your whole spine." I didn't understand she meant my world. Them. After she died, her kitchen key stayed in my pocket like a promise I didn't yet know how to keep. Back at the dinner table that night, surrounded by people who had rewritten me into a function instead of a family member, I didn't feel shattered. I felt awake. Maybe for the first time. Leon leaned back in his chair and added, "Honestly, Car, you're too dramatic. No one needs you doing all that extra." The way he said it, like I was some overzealous employee who kept volunteering for unpaid overtime, sent a cold wave through me. My mother finally looked up. "You work too much anyway," she said. "It's not like you have a family of your own to take care of. We don't want you burning yourself out for nothing." For nothing. Every late night. Every sacrifice. Every bill I covered. Every hour of building a life alone so I wouldn't drown the same way they did. All of it, dismissed as nothing. My father didn't even look at me when he muttered, "Let's not turn this into a scene." That was the moment something inside me, some small, tired part, finally exhaled. That I carefully folded my napkin and placed it beside my plate. That tiny movement made Leon's smile falter. My mother froze mid-slice. I stood, calm, centered, strange even to myself. "I hear you," I said softly. My father waved a hand. "Good. Then let's move on." But he had no idea I already had. I walked to the hallway and grabbed my coat. I didn't slam doors or raise my voice. I didn't need to. Their words were loud enough. Outside, the cold night air felt like a baptism. Sharp, clean, honest. On the drive home, memories peeled themselves open. Every errand, every emergency transfer, every guilt-soaked favor disguised as love. By the time I reached my apartment, my hands shook. Not from fear, from clarity. I sat at my dining table, opened my laptop, and created a folder I had never allowed myself to imagine before. Household transfers documentation. I opened old statements, messages, receipts. My breath kept catching. Not because I didn't know the truth, because I finally let myself see it. This wasn't helping family. This was financial exploitation. I reached out to a lawyer a coworker had once mentioned. She'd said, "If you ever get tired of being the family wallet, call him." I'd laughed then. I didn't laugh now. I attached everything. My finger hovered over the send button. One breath. Click. His response came the next morning. "This appears to be a pattern of coercion and financial misuse. If you'd like to proceed, we can." Proceed. I remembered my father's bored face, My mother's comment about me being for nothing. Leon casually slicing into me like carving meat. I typed back. Yes. I'm ready. The investigation moved quickly. Statements. Proof. Patterns. My life laid out in numbers that didn't lie. And then came the day everything shifted. My lawyer said I didn't have to be there when the investigators arrived at my parents' house. But I needed to see it. Needed them to see me. When I walked in, no one stood to greet me. No one hugged me. They just stared, annoyed, confused, like I was late to a job I didn't know I'd been scheduled for. Before they could speak, a heavy knock thundered through the door. 3 times. My father opened it. Good evening. Financial Crimes Division. We need to speak with Leon Carter, Victoria Carter, and Thomas and Evelyn Carter. The room froze. My mother stammered. There must be a mistake. There is no mistake, the investigator said. We have questions regarding long-term financial misconduct. Leon spun toward me, face draining of color. Carrie, what did you do? For the first time in years. I didn't shrink. I said. Exactly what you told me to do. I stopped giving. The investigators listed dates. Withdrawals. Transfers. Unauthorized charges. Coerced payments. The room collapsed in on itself. I didn't stay for the whole thing. I didn't need to watch them scramble for excuses. My father snapped. If you walk out that door, don't bother coming back. That sentence used to terrify me. This time it landed like dust. I looked at him, the man who taught me love meant debt, and said, I left a long time ago. This is just the first time you're noticing. I stepped into the cold and closed the door gently behind me. The fallout came fast. Leon's frantic messages. Unknown numbers begging me to fix this. My mother's long, aching email that read like a prayer wrapped in guilt. Funny. The same people who told me I wasn't needed were suddenly drowning without me. But I didn't respond. I moved 2 states away. Small apartment. Clean slate. Real silence. Not the silence they forced on me. The silence I chose. Some nights I sit by my window watching the quiet glow of the city, and I think about the night everything changed. About the words meant to break me that ended up freeing me instead. I used to believe loyalty meant carrying everyone else's weight until my own spine snapped. But love without respect is not loyalty. It's captivity. And walking away wasn't betrayal. It was survival. If any piece of my story feels familiar, if you've ever been the one who gave until you disappeared, know this, you deserve to be seen. Not drained. Not used. Not silenced. Tell me your story in the comments. I read everyone. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe. There's a lot more to say from the other side of finally letting go.